Namaskar. Today we discuss for machine learning, data science, algorithm implementation, the required part from descriptive and inferential statistics, standard deviation, and variance. In statistics, we have computing mean, median, mode, then range, variance, and standard distribution. Those are basically from the descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. They are computing easily by implementing inbuilt functions of our Python or R libraries, but conceptually we know them. So my request is, please watch the video that clear the concept of how to compute standard deviation. Let us start. Basically, statistics is used for interpreting the information, for analyzing the information, and for that it has a descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. In descriptive statistic, we performs measures of central tendency, mean, median, and mode, and then the inferential statistics is basically used to get insights of the population from the sample, and it has measures of dispersion, range, standard deviation, and variance. In this session, we try to understand these measures of central tendency and measures of dispersion in very simple words that clear our concepts when we apply them in our machine learning and data science. As all of you knows, mean is our arithmetic average. How to compute average? Everybody knows it. Like here example illustrate our list having these many elements. So simply perform sum of all the elements and divide it by number of total elements. So we get the mean. It is nothing but the arithmetic average of that data set. But when we have the data set, the data elements are spread in it. It is necessary sometime to sort the elements. It may be in ascending order and in descending order. So here in simple words, we try to clear the concept of what is ascending order. Like we have the list. If we write the list in order and now the list is in order, it is in descending order? No, it is not in descending order. But yes, it is in ascending order. All of us familiar with it because 1 is the smallest element, then greater than it is 2, then greater than it 3, greater than it 4, and then greater than it 5. Means as elements, next successive element is greater than the earlier element. It is the ascending order. I hope the concept is clear. But now see this example. In this given data set, the elements are present, and when we arrange them in order, so they are not in a descending order, yes. But if you observe carefully, they are not in a ascending order also. They are in a order, but the elements, if you see in the element 3, 3 is there. The element 8, 8 is there. They are twice. The next 3 is not greater than earlier 3. It is equal to 3. This 8 is not greater than 8. It is equal to 8. So it is not the ascending order. Because in ascending order, we need the elements in increasing order. They are not equal with each other. I hope the concept is clear. Now when we compute the median means to find the midpoint of the given data set. So to compute the midpoint of a given data set, we simply arrange the elements in a order. Because midpoint we compute means the elements, half of the elements or approximately half of the elements below to it. So how to compute the element? So here two cases are there. First case, count the total number of elements present in a list. Here 11 elements are present there. It is an odd number. So the midpoint is n plus 1 by 2, means 11 elements. So 11 plus 1 is 12. 12 by 2 is a 6. And this sixth element is a midpoint of given list. And if you observe carefully, it is present in a given list. But when the even number of elements are present in a list, so first we compute n by 2th element, means here total 6 elements are there. So 6 by 2 means a third element is there, it's a element 7, and next element with it, so it is a 10. And then find out the average of these two elements, and we got the midpoint. And if you observe carefully, the midpoint is not present in the list, may not present in a list. The point we remember, if even number of elements are there in a list, so midpoint may not present in a given list. Third measure of central tendency is mode. Mode is nothing but most frequently occurring value in a distribution. Now, consider the example. If the list given data set arranged in order, then it's very easy to find out the frequently occurring elements. If you observe carefully, 7 is occur twice, but the element 8 is occur 4 times. So mode is most frequently occurring value. So in this example, 8 is the mode and only one mode is present. But there are the chances more than one mode are present in a given list. So it's an example. The list is arranged in order, and if you observe, the 4 is occur twice, 7, 8 is also occur twice, and 9 is also occur twice. Means in this our example, these 4 values having frequency 2, so this data set having 4 modes. And the third example gives us it may be chances data set not having any mode, because all these elements are unique elements. They occur only once in a given list, and due to that the data set not having any mode. After this descriptive statistics, mean, median and mode, we gain some idea about the given data set. But when we have the population, and from that population we collect the sample, so we perform measure of dispersion. And the measure of dispersion, the range, standard deviation and variance gives us some insight about the population. So how we compute a range? Very simple. To calculate a range, we simply find out the smallest value from the given data set and subtract it from the largest value of the given data set. And it's very simple example, as you clear. When we subtract the smallest value from the largest value, we get the range of the given data set. Means it gives some insight about the population. But more important is standard deviation and variance. These two are very complex words or complicated formulas are there. Sigma is used to represent standard deviation, and it is given us how the elements are spread in a data set. And when we find out the variance, so just square root of variance is the standard deviation. Like some of you seen before it such a formulas, and once you seen such a formulas you got some fear, or you think how to compute this. But it is very simple. From the example we easily understand it. What's the standard deviation? How we compute the standard deviation? It is sum of xi minus x bar. Xi means each individual element, and from that we subtract the mean of that list, and whatever difference we got we make a square of it, and sum of such all that square is divided by n minus 1, because we compute standard deviation for the sample. Due to that we subtract it n minus 1. If we just compute this only, so if you observe carefully, it is nothing but the variance, and when we compute its square root, so it gives us the standard deviation. It's very easy. Try to understand from the example. Your concept is clear. Now, our list 1, 2, 2, 4, 6. How many elements are there? 5. What's the first step? Compute mean of the given dataset. Now, how to compute mean? Addition of all the elements and divide it by total number of elements. So, mean of this list is 3. Clear? Right. Now the second step, subtract that mean from each element of the list, from the sample list. Now if you observe carefully, the mean minus 3 is subtracted from the first element 1, we get minus 2. Then sequentially after subtraction, the last element is 6, so we subtract mean 3 from the last element 6, we get the value 3. Next step is compute the square of that difference. Now square of minus 2 is a 4, then square of minus 1 is a 1, then sequentially square of last difference 3 is 9. We compute now the square of each element. Then in next step, simply perform addition of all these square, and here addition, as you clearly understand, 16. And the last step is we divide that addition by n minus 1, because we compute the standard deviation variance for the sample. So here 16 is the square addition of square of the differences, and 5 minus 1, 5 is n minus 1, so 5 minus 1 is 4, 16 divided by 4 we get 4, and this is the variance. We get 4 is a variance of given sample, and when we compute square root of the variance, it is nothing but standard deviation. Please you solve the problem by your own selves, by the algorithm given, steps are given, it clear the concept how to compute standard deviation. And this is very useful, because if we see in the example, in the first example we also compute the average of the suppose 3 childs of a family, the average is 11. Next also we compute average of the second family of 3 children, it is also 11, but from average we not gain insight key what is their ages or how the ages are varied from each other, and for that we need standard deviation. For the first family, if you observe carefully, the standard deviation is 1.732, and if we subtract or add it in the mean, so we get some idea what are the ages of the childs. And the same is for second family. If we subtract or add the standard deviation in the mean or the average of a second family, then also we get some idea about the ages of the childs. This way, this is standard deviation and variance help to get insight about the population from the sample. Thanks.